All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So I got the SP-404 MK2 right here and the M Audio Oxygen Pro Mini. So here are a few good reasons why I am using the Oxygen Pro Mini with the 404 MK2. All right, number one reason to get started is the Oxygen Pro Mini has a MIDI out that you can use to control the sounds in the 404 MK2. The MK2 does have USB features, which are pretty cool. You can do audio in and out, and you can use this as a controller for MIDI stuff like controlling software, but it won't power your class compliant devices that only have this type of USB MIDI. So it's kind of limited what controllers you can use. I'm using this device, and since it's not being powered by, like a computer or the SP itself, what I do is I could just either plug it in the wall, or I use something like this, just a, power bank, and that keeps it powered for a long time. In order to get these two devices talking to each other, there is a specific MIDI cable by Boss. It is a TRS 3.5 millimeter MIDI cable. So it's not the standard old 5-pin. It's just a mini jack that looks like a headphone. So there'll be a link in the description to that. All right, so as soon as you plug that cable in, you should be able to control the sounds on the MIDI controller. The way that this works is that each bank is a different MIDI channel. So you can change the MIDI channel from the Oxygen Pro Mini. You have a mode global button right here. If you hold shift and press it, scroll over one, you'll get this global channel. So if you click it, then you can change that, go between channel 1 through 16, which is important because channel 16 is a specific channel for chromatic mode. But for now, I'm just sticking to pad bank A. So I'll leave it on channel 1. All right, so I'm gonna jump in the pattern sequencer, record some chords and some drums, and then show you a couple other things you can do that are cool with the Oxygen Pro Mini. Let's do that. All right, so now if I exit the pattern sequencer and go into utility, holding shift, pressing pad 13, click down on the data knob for the system, scroll over to MIDI, and then by default it says MIDI sync is set to eternal. If I change this to MIDI, now I have some more control, so I'll exit there, go back into the pattern sequencer. Now you can see I have some control with these transport controls of playing and stopping my pattern sequence. But also one thing you see is now if I hit tempo, this is now the master. So the tempo on here is controlling the SP-404 MK2. So I want to go back down to the tempo that I had it at, which was 75. Otherwise we're gonna mess up the tempo. So I'll scroll through a little bit so you can see that. Okay, yeah, I know that sounds all funky because I have those chords at a certain tempo, so they're at 75. So, but this is important to know that you have control of your tempo, because the next thing that is cool is there's some limitations to this. Now, there is a roll button on the SP, but I don't quite think it works as like a note repeat like an MPC would. Maybe you figured it out. I haven't figured it out, but having something like this that has a built-in note repeat function allows you to do some like hi-hats. So let's take a look at that. All right, so if I want to do some note repeat hi-hats, maybe, I'm looking for like a trap sound or whatever, I can select the art button. And if I hold my hi-hat down, it will now repeat. So if you select this button that says note repeat, you can change the note values of that. I can latch it and go through those. So most we got is 132 triplets, okay? I'm gonna do some 116 hi-hats. So another thing you can look at is if you hold down your hat, hold the shift button, the pads now become controls for, if you look underneath them, you have the note value. So right now it's on 1/16. You see this highlighted. If I click it again, it'll do 116 triplets. thing is you can actually adjust like swing. So you just have some, you have like 50%, 55, 57, 59, okay. So you have a few different swing settings there. All right, so next cool thing, like I mentioned earlier in the video, is the ability to easily switch through MIDI channels. So if you go back into the global by holding shift, press the global button, scroll over one, click down, you can switch from any track to track 16. Now this is chromatic mode. So chromatic mode is controlled by channel 16. So I do have on pad bank B, I have a bass. So I add a bass line. So the cool thing is I can exit this here and still have control. So if I want to go into the pattern sequencer, I don't got to be bothered by scrolling or, you know, switching through different banks to activate the chromatic mode and play them on the pads. I still have access here. All right, so that's the video. A few good reasons why I'm using the Oxygen Pro Mini with the MK2 to control the sounds in there. And good news, yo. The SP-404 MK2 is now available over at Zounds. There's a link in the description. If you ain't picked yours up, you can support the channel by picking one up or by getting the Oxygen Pro Mini. There's a few links in there and the MIDI cable you need to get these two talking to each other. So I appreciate y'all. Go ahead and check out the Lifted Noise store as well, or the Patreon. Links are in the description. Also got t-shirts. I appreciate y'all. Till next time, stay humble, be bold, and run with your dreams. God bless.